still kind of feeling like I don't really know what my purpose is. Not sure what to do, not sure what I'm here for. I think I'm just supposed to travel, or I think I'm just supposed to go out and walk around. Or if you're struggling to find your purpose, this is for you. Jumping right into it, I personally, and this has helped me tremendously, is I believe everyone has two purposes. And I think sometimes the mistake that we make is we think we have one and we just haven't found it yet. So it brings this frustration of like, what am I supposed to do next? And that what am I supposed to do next makes us look at everything we've done in the past, or really makes us forget everything we've done in the past and the great things we have done and the purposes we have fulfilled in the past. Makes us look at those things and just be like, well, it's nothing. It's all about what's next. And just that mentality can be swung very dangerously. So I think everyone has two purposes if you're watching this video. The first one, automatically, your first purpose is to find your purpose. Like, it's to discover it. Or for as many people that I talk to and work with, it's to rediscover it. Because you've already done it. I can probably guarantee you. I can probably guarantee you that. That's the first purpose. So to say I don't know my purpose, well, you're at the first part. And that's to find it. So you're fulfilling your purpose in itself with just that belief system, with that mindset shift. You guys follow that? Everyone has two purposes. The first one is to figure out what it is. And the second one is to live by it. And to understand it's going to keep shifting. It's going to keep changing. And this is one of the goals. You sometimes go back to 1 and 2 and 1. I thought was to play basketball, but then it's really sometimes what we think is our purpose is what it's like. It's what we think is our purpose is really what is leading us to what is our destiny. And sometimes it has nothing to do with what that purpose was. It was to lead us to something else. You know, there's one of my favorite quotes became a book, actually. But before the book came out, no one actually knew this quote. And it's like, it goes along the lines of like, everyone has two lives. And your second life begins when you realize you only have one. And it's a similar approach that we take. We beat ourselves up for not knowing what our purpose is. What is purpose? What is your definition of purpose? Like, what is that? Like, what does that mean? Like a mother and a father, like we struggling to figure out the purpose and how to pay the bills and the plans. Like you don't think your purpose was raising those beautiful children? Like, no, it has to be bigger than that. Oh, you don't think it was doing that and raising them to help the next generation and to give back? Is that not a good enough purpose? It's going to keep evolving our purpose. It's a thing that doesn't stop moving. I know someone left me a comment the other day and they're like, my purpose I've discovered is just to travel. And I was like, that's great. That's how I used to think. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that. But what if you could just go a little bit deeper? Like, there's feelings that we get. There's feelings that we love. There's feelings that we're searching for and craving. And it's those feelings that we crave that often lead us to things that are really bad for us sometimes because it's we're trying to fulfill that no matter what. We're going to fulfill our needs. You know, one of the things I talked about, and I got this from Tony Robbins, was with him and his program. He was saying, you know, everyone has 4 needs. I mean, there's 6, but there's 4 major ones. You know, you have your need for certainty, your need for uncertainty, your need for love and connection. You have a need for contribution. Like, you have needs. Like, and if you don't fulfill those needs consciously, you'll fulfill them subconsciously. Like, that is something that is like so powerful to understand. And I'm going crazy now because I can't remember what the 4th need. I haven't taught that way in a long time. The 4th need. Someone maybe can help me in the comments. It's certainty, uncertainty, love and connection, and I can't remember it. And growth and contribution are the other 2. But there's a 4th one there. I don't know why that slipped my mind. But the thing is, we're going to fulfill our needs. And sometimes, and we'll do another talk on this coming up soon, sometimes we get our symptoms confused with our problem. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes we get the symptoms, we get that confused and we think our symptoms are the problem. You know, I had a really good friend that I knew that had a really bad drinking problem. And this was when I was in college. So this was almost 20 years ago. Actually, it was 20 years ago that I met them. Probably like 18 years ago I met them. And they had a huge drinking problem back then when they were 21 years old. And fast forward to now, 18 years later, I just happened to randomly run into a post of them saying, this is going to be my last post for the next few weeks because I'm having my phone taken away because, as many of you know, I've had a drinking problem and it's gotten out of control and I'm going into rehab. Now, I wish them all the best, and anytime I read stuff like this, I really dive deep into it. And I started to think, and I was just like, you know, what if they didn't have a drinking problem? Like, what if, like, actually the problem was something else, and the symptom that was being shown was the need to go and drink? Like, it was a symptom. It was a symptom of the problem. Just like motivation. People, like my friend the other day, I talked about it in another video, like they were saying, Luke, you know, thank you so much for motivating me and all that. I'm gonna go to my room and do this work now. And I was like, well, I hope I didn't motivate you. They're like, why? I was like, because motivation is a symptom. And they're like, a symptom of what? And I was like, wow, I think you got a great question to ask yourself and to look into. Because so many times there's symptoms that we have, symptoms. And sometimes us not knowing our purpose can really, it brings a certain kind of energy to us. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with my life. That's a pretty challenging thing. And the way you say it can really hurt your spirit. Like, some of you guys are doing great things. Oh my goodness. Some of you guys, you have your bills paid. Maybe you're struggling to do it, but you got them paid. You've got food in your fridge. You've got a closet full of clothes. You got a car full of gas. You know, you have people in your life who maybe you don't want to reach out to for help, but if you really needed help, they would help you out. Like, you have your health. You're getting maybe not the best you have, but you can walk. You're able to get up. And yet you feel totally lost and feel totally drained because you feel like you just don't have a purpose. But you're in a position to where you can find what that purpose is. Like, you're just being so hard on yourself. I do it too. I'm probably more guilty than anyone. I'll finish this talk and I'll upload it and I'll just feel like, man, I could have said this. I could have done more. I could have shared this. But it's understanding like are you moving? Like, what do you want? As many of you guys know, this Friday, we're going to be diving into a clarity call again, a clarity session again, talking about what is next. And I think some of you guys will have your mind blown about what you're about to find out about yourself, about what's next. Like, you're going to have your mind blown, I guarantee you. And you guys can sign up. It's in the description below for the call. And it's something where it's just like, I just see so many people who are doing so many amazing things, but yet they cannot give themselves a break. They cannot get any rest. I'm one of these people because they feel that they can do more. They know they can do more. And even though they're not ready yet, they need to understand that a gift given too soon is a curse. I love riding my motorcycle, and I love when my friends come or people come and I have other motorcycles so we can go ride together. And one thing I'd really love to do is ride with some of my friends and some of their kids. I hang out with this. They're like family to us, but they have a kid and they love my motorcycle and I want to go ride with them. I want to let them ride my other motorcycle and we ride together. But she's 3 years old. About to be 3 years old. So as much as I want to give it to her, like, hey, go ahead, take it, ride it, like, it's too soon. Given to her too soon, it's a curse. She may want to ride it. She may want to go fast. She's like, can we go on moto? Like, she may want to do it, but it's too soon. Some of you, you'll be surprised in the journey to discover what your purpose is. You're going to get some skills. You're going to get some connections. You're going to get some friends. You're going to be able to become better at something that is a pivotal thing to have in your purpose, to fulfill it. Because if you get there too soon, it'll be one of the biggest regrets you can ever make. You know, I look at myself now. Like, if I had met my fiance, if I had met her earlier, it'd have been the biggest regret I've ever had in my life. I was not looking for it. I was nowhere near ready. And I wouldn't have known how to deal with it. I wouldn't have known. And I would have only done what I've known. And I would have ruined it. I would have missed out on this opportunity. I would have missed out on the most important decision that a person can make, I believe. It's one of the most important earthly decisions you can make. Is who you're going to spend the rest of your life with. It's a very important decision that no one seems to talk about. Because you can have a career, a great career, go to school, do all this great stuff, and then get with the wrong person, lose half your money to them, be miserable, never see your kids. That's happened to some people, and I can't relate 100%, but I know that must be very challenging for someone who did that and went through it. One of the reasons why I'm so prominent on telling people to share their story, share it, help someone else avoid the pitfall. You made it through something horrible, and you're on the other side. What if that was tied to your purpose? What if it tied to your purpose of helping people avoid pain? There's a lot of money in that industry. A lot of people in pain out there. The ones who smile. Some of y'all have no idea how many tears have come behind a beautiful smile. Take me, for example. Who knows how many times I had tears in my eyes with everything I've wanted surrounded by me. So, what I was saying is your first purpose. What if your first purpose was to figure out what your purpose was? And I believe it was in the movie, it was either in the movie The Last Samurai or it was in Mulan, the movie Mulan. I think it might have been in Mulan. And he was talking about the perfect cherry blossom. And he said a life spent searching for the perfect cherry blossom is not a life wasted at all. A life trying to figure out your purpose and in the meantime helping other people along the way is not a life wasted. And until we can realize that and have peace with ourselves and show ourselves grace, I think we'll always be tormented by those things. So with that being said, for so many of you guys, we're going to be diving into what's next for you in our clarity calls. Join in. It's totally free. I really truly believe, people, you can look at my life. I never would have been a pro athlete. I never, traveling's great. Traveling brings me clarity. Traveling brings me so much. And the one thing I'll say is I didn't have the mindset behind what I do, like behind the man, like the mindset behind the man myself, I would never have been able to do what I did. I'd never be able to do what I do, to handle so much uncertainty. There's a mindset that goes into it. I talked to some people who have way more money than I ever had. I think whenever I did my travels, I was doing it for less than probably $1,200 a month, like for the whole summers, for months at a time. And I deal with people who have 10 times that and more, but are terrified to go out and do what they really want to because it's up here. There's a whole mind part of it. And you can design your dream life. You can really design it. Or you can wander around aimlessly and thinking that it's this until you realize it's not. You can intentionally, consciously design it. And those of y'all who are interested, I'll see you this Friday at 1900, at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. When you sign up in the description below, it converts the time for you based on where you are. But there's a mindset behind the things that happen. Anyone who you see doing anything of any significance, they had to have a different mindset to do it. They had to look at something and ask different questions than what the average person asks. So with that being said, see some of you Friday, and I'll see the rest of you when I see you. Love you. Keep your mind okay. Keep it okay. Not great, amazing, perfect. Stay right here. Stay right here. Like, don't be too hard on yourself. Some of y'all are so hard. So hard on yourself, everything. It's okay. Take a breath. You're going to be okay. You're in the right place.